This is a CarNewsCafe.com podcast quick sip.
Hello, this is Aaron from CarNewsCafe.com. Today we're going to do a podcast quick sip to talk about the 2014 Scion FRS. When it comes to entry-level sports cars, it's difficult to think of any that outmatch the 2014 Scion FRS in terms of value for the horsepower. The FRS is a low-slung, low-price sports coupe with a fast pace and great handling. Any great sports coupe, no matter its price tag, or 0 to 60 time, or nameplate, must have three things to be considered a great sports coupe. First, it must be offered in a flamboyant shade of go ahead and pull me over red. Second, it must have a manual transmission option. Third, it must be wholly impractical for use as anything but an automotive toy. The 2014 Scion FRS fits all of those criteria. Our test vehicle was red with a 6-speed manual transmission and seated 2 with an option for Yoga Masters, aka 2+2 seating. The Scion FRS is part of the Toyobaru family of cars, which include the Subaru BRZ and the Toyota FT86. All three are largely the same, with differences being entirely in interior refinement. Thanks to some updates from Scion for the 2014 model year, though, the interior here is nearly as good as that found in the BRZ. All three are great little sports coupes with a thoughtful powertrain and well-designed handling characteristics. The Scion FRS is powered by a 2.0-liter horizontally opposed 4-cylinder engine that outputs 200 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. This runs through a 6-speed manual transmission or a 6-speed automatic with paddles, which is optional, to the rear wheels. Most drivers can expect 0 to 60 times of about 7 seconds in this car. This means you get a smooth boxer engine, a right-sized transmission, rear-wheel drive, and a fun driving experience all at once and for under $25,000. This being a Scion, there's only one trim package, and all the extras that you might want are dealer-installed accessories rather than package options. You can get performance exhaust, fog lamps, and a few other things for this car. The 2014 Scion FRS comes standard with 17-inch alloy wheels, air conditioning, height-adjustable driver's seat, which is a must for anybody like me that's tall, tilt telescoping steering, cruise control, Bluetooth, a nice 8-speaker sound system, and a very usable 6.1-inch touchscreen. The FRS uses the same Pioneer system that the Scion line uses throughout, and it's much more navigable than the standard Toyota offering. Dealer options can improve that stereo further and add in satellite radio and navigation, neither of which is offered otherwise. From the outside, the FRS looks a lot better than the $24,000 might suggest. This is one of the best-looking sports cars on the road, bar none. Has a unique flowing look that screams Japanese sports car in a way that few others can mimic. A slanted hood boasts strong fender bumps and peering headlamps, while the coupe body is simple and powerful. The cut forward from the door to create the sill line has small vents at its forward end and a little 86 nameplate that appears on both the FRS and the FT86 in honor of Toyota's historic sports coupe glory. The strong yet simple lines of the car attracted more than one person to it to compliment me on my ride. It was an eye-catching car, and it's ageless. For 20-somethings to old man at the golf course where I'd snapped some photos, it was a hit. Inside, the interior of the FRS is Spartan, but very comfortable. The sport buckets are nicely done and comfortable, despite their hugging qualities. While you can't expect to get much, including car seats, in that rear seating area, you can at least throw some groceries back there, and the relatively large trunk helps with practicality. This is a sports coupe, though. Practicality should be secondary. Controls for driving and entertainment are simple and have no fuss. The touchscreen and rear backing camera are very small, and the camera is more like a video game console than a real camera. But in a car this size, a backup camera is more of a perk than a necessity. Another drawback here is shift throw. For a sports car, the lever travel on the manual transmission is long, and the transmission is touchy about your coordination between clutch and shifter. It takes a little while to get used to the cadence that's required to go through the gears here, but the synchro mesh on the transmission is fairly loose, so gearing with just a touch of the clutch rather than full travel becomes your habit. Now on the road, this is a sports coupe, so it isn't so much about speed as it is road feel. There are plenty of faster cars on the road, but few of them can boast this price point, low-end RPM torque, and excellent cornering all in one package. The Scion FRS just feels confident all the time. It's comfortable enough for a long drive, but it's on the short stints through narrow streets and the winding country roads that it really comes out. This car begs you to take the corners at speed. It wants you to give it a little too much throttle and bark the tires off the line. It kind of wants you to run the revs up high before you shift. It eats up freeway on-ramps, hard corners, and just about anything with pavement. The funny thing is that the Scion FRS really has no competition. The Toyobaru family competes against itself. There are really no other cars out there that are like them. They compete against one another because there are no other rear-wheel drive sports coupe in this price range. Most often, though, the FRS and the others are compared to front-wheel drive sports cars in this category, which would include the Ford Focus ST, the Scion TC, the Mazda MX-5 Miata. These comparisons are kind of a stretch because they're just not the same. Some strong points of the Scion FRS are that it's a great entry-level sports coupe and one of the only ones you can get with rear-wheel drive. It has awesome styling that appeals to just about everyone who sees it. Now, for weaknesses, it has that long shift throw and a little bit quirky transmission, which is mostly due to Subaru's design, and Subaru's known for doing that. It is not a practical car, of course, which anyone who buys this should realize before they take it home. It's a sports coupe and not a family car. But for those who want a fun sports coupe with a lot of style and driving finesse, but who aren't interested in taking a lifetime to pay for it, the 2014 Scion FRS is a great option. It's fun, it's sporty, it's impractical, and it's flashy. What else can you ask for out of a rear-wheel drive sports coupe? Midlife crisis? Here I come. So, for CarNewsCafe.com, this has been Aaron. We'll talk to you again soon.